he might be letting Flash back into this game just kind of with persistence attacks. Basically, Flash is okay at this point. I think Flash has essentially sealed this off, and he's not even producing that much out of his secondary. It looks like he's just kind of, oh wow, oh I'm sorry, that's his secondary. He's just started producing at that third expansion. Honestly, I think he could have been doing a little bit better macro-wise. Zergling slipping through, going to that natural expansion for Flash, and once again going to disturb the economy. He's doing a lot with these units, but at this point I think it's kind of a moot point. You've already done a really successful harass across the board. You slowed Flash down, get your economy up, tech the Hive now, do something, get Cracklings, get Zerglings, start putting down more hatcheries. He's only got 4 hatcheries at this point, and he's going, has not started, he's got three drones in the upper right-hand corner it looks like, and it doesn't look like he has any drones in the upper right-hand base. I think Yellow is making a huge mistake here with his macro. He's not keeping up as far as production-wise. Mostly, I feel like it's kind of a production problem. He's only got 4 hatcheries. He's going up against a lot of science vessels, 4 barracks, and as well as tanks that are going to be coming out momentarily. And Flash is just doing an incredible macro job handling these attacks and still managing to produce a lot of troops here. I'm not sure where he's getting the money for these units. It's almost kind of UUV-esque. And it looks like a couple of the overlords that have just been kind of misplaced out there for Yellow are going to get taken down, probably irradiated at the very least, shot down by Marines. And it doesn't look like Yellow's going to be able to push them out in time. But really, yeah, he needs to get his economy back up. 3 tanks out, and actually I think Yellow's in a bit of trouble here. Yellow does not, I do not think Yellow has the force right now. Because he just kept throwing units and throwing units at Flash, I don't know if he, and it looks like he's going to try to do a distractionary attack backside. This is going to buy him some time. That's a brilliant maneuver on his part. Going to go back and disturb the economy, continually disturb the economy in the main. So actually he's not in too shabby part. It looks like he's going to lose some units. They're getting kind of trapped here in the backfield, and once again going up to the secondary. So at the very least, Flash isn't going to be able to commit that attack. But that is 4 tanks bearing down, and I don't think just Lurker and Scourge are going to be able to deal with it, not with 3 science vessels in the air. And this is very Mind-esque, actually, I would say. Not kind of an SK Terran build, but just those 2 sunken colonies. That gas at the natural could be very easily harassed. A couple Scourge out, but honestly, I don't think 6 Lurkers against the 6 tanks, and it looks like a control group and a half of, 2 control groups of Medic Marine are going to really be able to handle this, especially not with the 3 science vessels overhead. Now that just got scanned, unfortunately for him. Now Yellow's kind of in a bad position. I don't know if he can defend both bases. He's starting to get his macro up in the upper right-hand corner, but I think he needs to get some more hatcheries down. He's in a kind of a double bind. I don't know he can put hatcheries down. He needs to produce troops. I don't know that he can get his production up, really. More Overlords going down, which is going to hurt him even more. And in the meantime, Flash is just somehow in full recovery. I thought that Yellow basically had him, but look at the troops on the ground. This is unbelievable macro from Flash. And SCV trying to sneak out in that upper left-hand corner, but looks like it's just going to get taken down. Still level 0 weapons, actually. Level 0 weapons for Flash, so you got to give that to Yellow. Yellow isn't behind as far as upgrades, although I haven't seen an evolution chamber down, so I don't think it's going to make a difference. And now it looks like he just has a skeleton crew of forces. He's got 8 Lurkers total spread out versus, yeah, and I just don't think he's going to be able to hold this. As you can see, a tank's going to be able to shell that gas. It's not going to affect him all that much. Looks like some Lurkers going across somehow snuck out and are going towards Flash's base. They're not going to really be able to do anything. They're just going to get irradiated by that science vessel once it has energy. 2 sunken colonies getting taken out very easily, as well as that gas. And right now, again, it's just the four hatchery problem. Because Yellow was not macroing up, because he persisted with those attacks, I think Flash is actually going to weather this storm. It might be it right here. I'm not sure. Mutalisk coming back to try to deal and try to harass. Looks like, those science vessels are completely out of position. At least one of them is going to go down. There goes one. That could have been a lot worse. And then actually looks like the Mutalisks were actually cut off by those Marines fairly effectively by Flash. Now the irradiation starts to do its work. All those Lurkers getting taken out by irradiates just down the field, and just 3 Mutalisks and a couple, and some reinforcements coming from the north. I just don't think it's going to be enough. You really need, you basically need Darkswarm at this point. And I think, oh yeah, and as you can see, that base getting completely rampaged now by those tanks on the corner. Flash is coming back in this game. I really thought this was out of hand for Flash for a minute, but Yellow not macroing up in the middle of the game, just persisting with this attack. Looks like he's going to hold position and lurk on the troops that are coming to reinforce, which I think is a very good maneuver. But right now, I just don't think he can keep up production-wise. I don't think he has enough hatcheries. I don't know if his economy is up in the same regard. I think he has to, which is incredible considering he still has basically 3 bases. But 3 bases and 4 hatcheries, you just can't spend your larva, you just can't get enough larva to pull it out. At least that those forces are distracting the back. In the meantime, you can see just 2 lurkers out in the field, as well as those lurkers that are pinned back in his base. Maybe he's tech to hive by now, but he really needs to tech to hive. He really needs to get Dark Swarm up, and he really needs to get cracklings out in the field to kind of something out in the field to really deal with this. Looks like he's actually got 5 hatcheries on the ground. There is he has tech. He has gone to Defiler Mound, but I think he wanted this a lot earlier. He hasn't been able to deal with those science vessels. He has not had any answer to those science vessels and those tanks still in the meantime. Now Flash starting to press towards the north, and once again, I don't think Yellow is in a very strong position to really take this out. Flash is looking brilliant. Flash is going to come back in this game and take it. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Seriously, the amount of harassment that Yellow did at the initial, I thought this game was his. It was completely pinned down, but it looks like Flash is actually back at full production, is at a very dominant position, has already taken down 1 national. It looks like he's just going to march. Yellow expanding again, taking everything in the upper right corner. Nidus Canal is going down. Looks like that's the drop Nidus Canal. Unfortunately, yeah, and I don't think he's going to be able to get reinforcements up there. And Flash just using the map really well, very well, using kind of those cliffside edges with those tanks, and just kind of screening with those medic marines across the top. So there's nothing that Yellow can really do. He can't run those Mutalisks in to pick anything off. The tanks in the meantime can just shell those hatcheries, and now as you can see, those eggs aren't even going to develop here, and those science vessels doing a good job of spotting and kind of pushing back and forth. And yeah, Nidus Canal pushing up now, and oh wow, Flash, where I thought this game was out of his hands, getting right back in it. The Nidus Canal is going to get up, but it's just going to be Zerglings and Dark Swarm, and we'll see if that's enough to take it out. But tanks do splash in Dark Swarm, so it's still going to be, I think, decently hard for Yellow to kind of fight this off. Yellow is actually bringing his Zerglings here out of position toward. Looks like he's actually going to press in another attack on Flash's main, but Flash already has 2 bunkers down. It looks like he is waiting. He's getting a 2nd starport down, actually he hasn't expanded, so he might be trouble in that regard. And now once again, Yellow bringing out more troops, but really I feel like Flash is probably at about 140 psi right now and rising, whereas Yellow probably even beyond that, where it seems like Yellow is just about probably, I don't know, about 80 supply. And those lurkers getting caught out in the middle of the field, and with nothing to box those medic marines